Back in April, I first brought you the news that U.S. Figure Skating will add a coaching membership category. Then I brought you more detail after all this passed at Governing Council in May of 2023. Now that we're getting closer to the 2024 launch date, I have even more information about coaches' integration into U.S. Figure Skating. Hi everyone, this is Aimée. Welcome to my channel. U.S. Figure Skating is holding a series of webinars for coaches and anyone interested in learning more about the coaches' integration. I've attended the first two. In this video, I'm going to go over what I learned. As always, just a reminder, while I am a coach member of U.S. Figure Skating with active PSA ratings and ranking, I'm not any kind of official or spokesperson. After watching this video, if you have any questions or are interested in learning more, there's a link to the third webinar in the description down below. First, a little background. There's long been a challenge with the responsibility for coaching programs, education, and accountability being divided between U.S. Figure Skating and the Professional Skaters Association, PSA. Presently, the PSA delivers ratings and rankings programs and continuing education requirements, or CERs, as well as other educational content through virtual and in-person seminars. However, U.S. Figure Skating is the national governing body for figure skating in the United States. It is accountable to the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic committees and the U.S. Center for Safe Sport for coach compliance. That means that there are national standards in place for coaches that U.S. Figure Skating is ultimately responsible for. So U.S. Figure Skating is accountable and required to deliver the Skate Safe education program, the coach's liability insurance package, ethics, grievance processes, and all programming. Ultimately, since U.S. Figure Skating is the responsible party, they felt it has become time for them to take over the responsibility rather than having a memorandum of understanding with the PSA. From our perspective as coaches, this shift creates new opportunities for us to significantly impact our sport while being better supported by U.S. Figure Skating through an entirely new coaching pathway that's currently in development. The object is that this pathway can take any coach at any level and provide them with education, engagement, and participation, so that coach can be assessed for a higher level of accreditation. I love this. As much as I've always supported and respected PSA, the one thing I felt has been missing from PSA ratings was the training aspect. PSA ratings are designed to evaluate coaches only after they've achieved benchmarks. There's no course or training to get there. You had to find your own way. It always baffled me that there wasn't a course, textbook, tutorial. You would literally sit before 3 master-rated coaches for a verbal rating exam, using only a study guide to prepare. That study guide didn't have an answer key either. It was difficult to know exactly what kind of answer the panel was looking for. Now, U.S. Figure Skating is looking to provide education and information before you're evaluated. There'll be a curriculum to develop you from wherever you are today to wherever you want to be. What happens now? The U.S. Figure Skating bylaws were amended at Governing Council and are being phased in. The first thing is a coach membership with certification and continuing education. This is what U.S. Figure Skating has decided to call Coach I.C.E. Coach I.C.E. will be included in an online system within the members-only database to validate coaches' requirements and highlight your accomplishment in a searchable database. Then there are governance and voting rights. For every 50 Coach I.C.E. members in U.S. Figure Skating, there will be 1 delegate vote at Governing Council. That will be roughly around 10 to 15% of total voting power. There will also be a team of headquarters to work in partnership with the Coaches Council to deliver coach certification, education, and development. And of course, influence and connection to athlete development, which I would probably argue we've had all along, at least as far as our skaters are concerned. The Coaches Council acts as a space to share ideas and knowledge from U.S. Figure Skating coach members, serves as an advisory group, and partners on strategies and appropriate staff departments that are delivering coach certification, development, and education. The council reports to U.S. Figure Skating's board of directors. It communicates regularly with committees, especially those in the athlete services section. The council reflects the broad experience of the coaching skating community. This all boils down to coaches finally having a voice and influence within U.S. Figure Skating. It's kind of hard to believe that we didn't have that before, isn't it? What happens now? Coaches will now have a core certification with a guidebook and handouts attached to it. Coaches will be assessed. Don't panic. The assessment is untimed, and it doesn't have to be completed in one sitting. Additionally, it can be taken as many times as you need to reach the score of 80%. The content will bring together the aspects of coaching that every coach should be knowledgeable about, such as the fundamental axioms of figure skating. It's an aggregate of the foundational concepts: body alignment, lean, balance on the blade, acceleration, flow, and the skills that lead the athlete to being able to perform, from quality edges and power, leading to even more skills in the different disciplines. The assessment in all future courses will be based on best practices for learning and training, as well as the most up-to-date, accurate content available. They want us to consider these courses as learning experiences rather than just something to check off your list. Here's a visualization of the pathway to enter coaching moving forward in US figure skating. The idea is to create a support system, so we're no longer going to be alone to just figure it out for ourselves. There will actually be a pathway now. Coach ICE will be a space for us to find information and content to support our coaching compliance components in one place, as well as to establish a coaching network. For coaches like me who have had PSA ratings, once a PSA rating has been earned, a coach must maintain a PSA professional membership and a minimum of 28 educational credits over 3 years. That keeps the rating active. For those of us with active ratings, we're going to have added opportunities with US figure skating. One benefit is the chance to exhibit our level of accreditation via the coach directory. That's that searchable database for all US figure skating members. To ensure your PSA rating transfers to US figure skating, your rating must be active as of June 30th, 2024. How do you know if your rating is active? Log into your PSA membership account at skatepsa.com. Click on your name under Welcome at the top gray bar. Then select Account and Setting and the Professional Development tab on the left. Here, you can review your credits column. If you need more credits, you can get them by attending PSA webinars. Most of them are free, or you can view any of the 450 plus event recordings that are available for members free of charge at PSA TV. If you have questions, please call or email the PSA office. Don't ask me because, again, I'm not an official. All coaches, even those with active ratings, will complete the core certification, which is a one-time requirement. And then we'll all join Coach ICE. For those of us with active ratings, they tell us that the PSA active rating transfer will be automatic on July 1st, 2024, after you complete the core certification. The ratings will come over in the level and the discipline that you earn them. There will also be other opportunities to increase those levels. This is all very similar to what we've done up to this point with PSA CERs. Think of the CEUs as just replacing the PSA CERs, but with a more flexible application. In other words, the CEUs aren't going to be restricted to just a handful of prepackaged modules. Instead, you're going to be able to use any of the educational opportunities to fulfill the coaching education unit. This will provide you with more control over what you feel will benefit you and your coaching. Additionally, obtaining higher levels of certification, such as gaining a technical specialist appointment or becoming a test judge, will also count for CEUs. Coaches' college, Jump On It camp, or online refresher courses will also count towards your CEUs. This is designed to inspire you to be a lifelong learner and create a culture of continuous improvement. They know it's essential to have a variety of options and be respectful of coaches' time and budgets. These opportunities will provide certificates and be tracked to your coach profile. Beyond continuing education and professional development, an exciting idea that they're working on is added insurance benefits. Of course, they will still have the coach liability insurance that they've always had, but they're looking at offering additional benefits for coaches, such as medical, dental, vision, disability, life, and accident insurance. I know some of my other organizations have this, so that would be fantastic. They tell us they hope to provide all US figure skating member coaches with those benefits. More information will be coming out on that. The one part of this that I think is missing is the ranking coming over from PSA. Many of us PSA member coaches have been ranked based solely on the performance of teams or skaters under our direction. We've worked really hard to achieve those milestones with our skaters, applied for the ranking, and paid a fee. So it would be nice if you as figure skating could figure out a way to honor and grandfather those PSA rankings. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about that. Here's your timeline. Beginning around mid-February, when you would have logged into PSA to do your CERs in the past, this is when you're going to do your core certification. Like with the CERs, there'll be a separate fee for the core certification. We don't know what that number is yet, but they tell us it will be similar to what they've done for many years. Everyone will have to do this only once. You don't have to do this part every single year. This is only once and done. Then after June 1st, when you've completed your core certification and renewed your US Figure Skating Club membership, you will join Coach ICE. Then you will go onto your Coach ICE profile and check your compliance, your safe sport, and basically all the same things you would normally have done in the past. For clarification, if you're also a Learn to Skate USA instructor, that is separate and is still going to remain that way. Same as before. Coach ICE is for coaches who teach beyond group classes, including coaching competitive and testing skaters, beyond the Learn to Skate USA curriculum. Coach ICE is required for any coach who would have been required to be compliant under the previous system with PSA. Coach ICE replaces your PSA membership. It includes all the fees for doing your continuing education. So tell me, what do you think of all this? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. If this video helped you out, please give it a like and share it with somebody else you think it could help. Just post it on your social media too. Remember, I post videos every week that can help you with your coaching and your skating. You don't want to miss them, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell. And if you want to watch my videos before anyone else, you can now become a member of my channel for early access to new videos. Just click the join button to learn more. This is Aimée. Happy skating and happy coaching. I will see you real soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.